Superman 23.2, aka Brainiac, written by Tony Bedard, art by Pascal Alixe. So, we open up with like three different people. By the way, before I even start this, you need to have read like all of Action Comics written by Grant Morrison. It's like required reading. But regardless, we open up with like three different people who are all clearly being led by Brainiac. And we see them across multiple different years saying like, ah, yes, I am the voice of the colony of the Collector of Worlds. And the last one we see is on planet Noma, and it says today. And that's the one we deal with. We have a woman who, she has a name, but we don't know it now. And basically this is like a weird sort of steampunk planet called Noma, and this robot worked for this woman. His name is Numanoid, and the woman's like, what are you doing? I programmed you. What are you doing? It's like, oh, I'm the voice of the Collector now. And here's the thing. We are here to save your city. We're here to save it. Our planet's database has been copied into the thing to make sure that it is preserved in the extinction event, and significant artifacts will also be preserved. And her name is Victoria Viceroy, by the way, and basically says, what do you mean? What's going on? And he's like, oh, well, let me give you the full breakdown here. And he's like, okay, so way back there was a planet called Yod Kolu, and on it there was a man named Brill Dox, and we see him performing this experiment, whatever it is, and saying like, yep, so his wife comes in super pissed off because he's not answering the comms. He's very much cut and dry. He's not very emotional. And as the wife comes in being like, by the way, have you seen our son? And then the chair that he's doing experiments on spins around. Turns out he's experimenting on his son. And immediately the wife's like, what in the hell is wrong with you, Brill? And he's like, I know this looks bad, but you have to understand it's for a greater purpose. And he's like, I don't care about your... This is our son. What's the matter with you? So she takes the son and then basically reports him to the police. And he's put in front of a high council and is like, okay, let me explain to you what I found. There is a fifth dimension, and in this fifth dimension they are fighting. And because they are fighting, it's affecting us down here in our dimension. And because of that, there's this thing called the multitude, and it is basically going through planet to planet, destroying everything. And I have figured out the pattern to how they attack, and the next planet in line to be attacked is us. So I've already mastered this technology of miniaturization, and I've mastered this technology of bottling things. So just trust me on this. Oh, and force fields. That was his other thing. And everyone's like, okay, yeah, no, solid, got it. You're insane, and we're going to exile you. So they do. They put him on a ship. But turns out he is Computo on board, and he's able to have Computo free him from his shackles and makes his way into the surgery bay of the exile ship. So some time passes, and the kid's like, oh, where's Daddy gone? And he's like, oh, somewhere he won't help you or hurt you, sweetie. And then all of a sudden on all the screens in Yod Kolu, Brainiac pops up, still going by Brill Dox. And he's like, hey, I know you exiled me, but I'm willing to turn a blind eye, and I want to help you. So here's what's going to happen. I'm going to shrink this city that most people are in on Yod Kolu, and I am going to bottle it and preserve it so that the multitude can't kill you. You're welcome. And at that point, the wife's crying out like, if you can hear me, if you've ever loved me at all, you won't do this. And he's like, okay, I'm gonna do it. So he presses the button, he shrinks the city. And, the rest of the planet like starts freaking out like, oh my God, how could he? But then like 5 minutes later, the multitude shows up and just wipes the planet clean anyway. So then he's like, okay, I saved my planet. I did that. So I'm going to go ahead and save all the planets on the list. I'm going to outrun the multitude and take one city, and I'm going to preserve it. That is my plan. But in order to be more efficient about it, I'm going to spread my voice amongst these multiple different creatures. So in Action Comics, we saw the Brainworm character. That was just something that he possessed. It wasn't actually Brainiac himself. But then we see Brainworm goes and deals with Krypton. He goes and steals a city from Krypton, and for a while there, he integrates himself to understand the important artifacts and stuff of the city, and he gets enamored with Jor-El. He's like, this guy is pretty dang smart, and I like him. Regardless, he's not in the city I need to take. I need to take Kandor. So he bottles up Kandor, he takes it away, and then he leaves as the multitude arrives. But as we know from Action Comics, Jor-El managed to repel the multitude. It didn't kill Krypton. So Brainiac, Vildox, hears that and he's like, what? You can fight him back? And he immediately rushes back to Krypton. But in the intermediate, turns out Krypton exploded for unrelated reasons. And he's like, oh my god, Jor-El figured out how to fight him back. And now I'll never know that. So he decided on all future planets, as he goes to attack them, bottle them. He's going to attack them and make it so like, okay, let me see what their idea is to repel something like the multitude, and then I'll try it on the multitude and see if that stops them. Smart thinking, me. So he's launched this attack on Noma. Victoria Viceroy breaks out, and she's like, oh yeah, I'm not sure if I believe you because, you might be lying, but regardless, I doubt that Brainiac is working solely on altruism. You can talk to him. Why don't you ask him the real reason he's doing this? And then Brainiac just shows up next to Victoria, and she tries to fire him. And he's like, you can ask me yourself, but I have force field technology, so you can't fight me. So picks her up by the neck and basically says, like, no, I'm not doing this out of some weird, twisted urge. I'm not murdering just because I like it. I'm doing it to save these people. That is why I'm doing it. And he turns to the thing that he possessed, the robot, which he has since let free. And he's like, robot, you saw inside my mind. Do I do this out of wanting to murder? And the robot's like, no. And he's like, there, see, the robot told you the truth. Anyway, goodbye. And he throws the woman aside and starts the bottling process. But Victoria apparently had a camera running on all this the whole time. And she's like, hey, computer, did you record everything he said about, like, bottling cities and stuff like that and killing all the rest of the planets? That was the other thing, is that he's killing the planets before the multitude can get to them just because screw you, multitude. And the camera's like, yes, no, we caught it. And he's like, great. Broadcast that to everything that is more than 1 light year away. I don't want him to even know that we're sending it out. Keep it secret until it's past that bubble. But then let all those other planets know so that they can prepare for him. And so Noma gets destroyed after the broadcast is sent out. Computo asks Brainiac, oh, do you want me to go to a new planet? He's like, hold on. I'm relishing this. And we see back on planet Earth, we have Dr. Shea Veritas at the center of the Earth, who receives the signal, decodes it, and it says, yes, I will claim my trophies and kill the planet itself. And Shea Veritas is like, this looks like a job for Superman. So that'll get wrapped up, I believe, in, I think that's Superman? Maybe it's Action Comics. I don't know. It's whatever one is dealing with the 20 or whatever right now. I like Brainiac. I think he is a very smartly done villain in that he represents, to some extent, the comic reader, the one who collects these comics. Like, that was how he was represented in Action Comics. He's someone who wants to see all this stuff preserved and not, like, messed with at all. He's all in favor of the status quo, whereas Superman would represent the idea of, no, things need to change and things need to get different in comic universes for anything cool to happen. I like him as an idea. I don't like the fact that all of this is kind of built upon this idea of the multitude, because that felt like kind of a throwaway thing from Grant Morrison's run, and to now have it intrinsically linked with Brainiac's origin, where it could have just been a separate thing entirely, especially now that I know that they appear all throughout time, so it's not even a thing of they are gone forever per se, but the multitude was dealt with. Like, that was the final villain in Action Comics. It shouldn't be a problem anymore. So why is Brainiac still doing this is the question. And maybe you could explore that, but to tie it in intrinsically to his origin kind of just cheapens it a little, if that makes any sense. So overall, I'm going to say this is probably just a flat 7. I also don't like the fact that he was experimenting on a sun to begin with, not because I think that that's like too dark or anything, but it just, again, it feels like it's, oh, he's so evil, he doesn't even know he's that evil. I don't know, it just feels cheap to me. But yeah, this is pretty much just a flat 7. I don't think it goes above that in any meaningful capacity. It's not a bad book, but it's also not good either. So yeah, 7.